What's good? This is called the process. I guess that's short for the creative process, the writing process, and just going through my thoughts as I enter to new stages of the writing publication industry and just what that's like. I've been publishing since about 2017, but I would say 2014 is when I really committed to becoming an author. So I have about 7 years of experience, if you want to be critical of that. About 5 years or so of critical, hardcore experience of actually doing this. I'm a bestseller, sold a few books, and that's all I'm going to talk about myself, hopefully for the entirety of this, because I don't think that listing your credentials or listing your resume translates into great books. It doesn't translate into being a good writer. It doesn't translate into having success into this field whatsoever. Because this is a field that a lot of people that don't have formal education or that do have formal education but want to enter new realms of thought, of their mind, of creation, either expanding upon whatever they've researched and were interested in, whether you're doing their undergrad or entering the world of fiction, creating new worlds entirely for people to escape in. So there's a lot of avenues in writing. The foremost thing, however, that really separates a new writer, I guess me at about 20, a little bit more idealistic, versus me now. I'll be 28 this year. I'll be 28 September 1st. And just a completely different outlook and perspective of authorship. And it used to just be writing, and now it's authorship, because it's the form of you that's achieved the goal and then replicated the goal and then expanded upon to create new goals versus the person researching how do you write a book, how do you finish a novel, and can't even finish one book yet, can't even finish one story. People have multitude of different ideas and thoughts and books that they want to write, and that's a beautiful thing and great. That's going to keep you going for a very long time. I'm not going to criticize you for that, but if you can't finish the books and you can't complete the ideas that you have, you are doing yourself a disservice by not just writing down, just have a notebook or something. Write down those ideas. Put it to the side. Focus on your work in progress. Because you're not going to learn from thinking about it. You're not going to learn from criticizing yourself constantly or seeking other people to criticize you. If your book isn't finished, there's no point in having someone read it. It's just that. Don't publish it yet. Keep finishing it. Keep writing it. Take a week or so, finish it yourself. Finish the book first and then have someone read it. If you're going to query a book, that's a different thing entirely. Then you want to have about half of the book or so finished. You want to still have the base ideas, but when you're doing the more traditional route, things are a lot more focused on the marketing end. So I'm pausing because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings intentionally. Unintentionally, I don't really give. If you're really sensitive, then I can't really do anything for you. But a lot of people want the experience. A lot of people aren't really interested in the results. And that's going to create an avenue for a lot of authors to excel and to succeed and go far and beyond. Because the community is very toxic. The opportunities are endless. So what I kind of do is that I stay out of. I don't have that kind of personality where I really value validation like other people do. I'm a naturally gifted, intuitive writer. So the things that I struggle with more so is taking the natural ability and now moving it into a more marketable, more valuable skill set and avenue as far as writing is concerned, as far as authorship is concerned, and everything that I do in life in general now. At 20, I didn't care about doing things for free. You know, at 20, I thought everything can be done through volunteer work. And yeah, like, it could. It really could. You know, I wasn't wrong. But people just aren't motivated. You know, that's what creates the toxicity, is that there's no real motivation. Without having the proper results in place, without having the validation, without having the gratification, without having the likes, without having the fame, without having people finish and read your book, there's not a lot to keep you going if this isn't something that you're born to do, you know, or if it's something that you're really hungry for becoming the best at, because it's a huge investment of your time, your energy, and your money, endlessly, and you're focusing your attention. There's a reason why writers are usually become very introverted, because most of the process of what you do requires silence, requires quiet. You need like your own time and space, your own fifth density, if you will, to create these things and to push it out into existence. It's not like you can walk around with a camera and just film the world. Like, maybe you could do that and you just speak out words or lyrics or something or poetry while you do it. But I still wouldn't consider that writing. You know, that might be a marvelous project for one of you guys to embark on and take up. But it wouldn't be you sitting down focused upon one plot subject or focused upon one persuasive argument and writing and being in that moment of writing and allowing writing to be your meditation and allowing that moment to expand for as long as needed, be it an hour, be it a day of yourself, be it a month of yourself. You know, people think it takes a year to write a book. It takes a week to write a book. Finishing the book takes a year. Getting the book on the paper is if you struggle putting the book on the paper, turn away. You know, I'll stop now. Because there's Wattpad, there's web novel. There's a lot of places where you can go to write, to sharpen your craft, to sharpen your skill without investing anything. And no matter how big you get for your britches, those are great avenues to build on. You don't have to keep going. Because on the other side of that monster is getting people to read your book. Getting people to pay money to buy your book. Getting people across the world to buy your book. Getting people that know you to buy your book. Getting people to know you to separate the person that they knew to embrace the person who you're becoming. Oftentimes people won't read your book because the book is an indication of the person that you become. And they're still really attached to the person that you were. And not reading your book and not embracing your content, it's like it allows them in some ways psychologically to not give you the respect or give you the love that you deserve, because they're still linked to the it of you, or the ego of you, the child of you that is easily gratified, that is easily swooned, that is easily gullible and naive and thinks that they're the greatest in the world and blah, 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 blah. And you might even still think that thing about people, you know? I don't have any issue, like, with holding calm. I have a very good vibration when people are physically around me. On the internet, I feel like I'm way too, like, I feel like when I use social media, I've had so many bad experiences that my guard is just up so fucking high that I can't give all of myself on a text message. I'm a writer. You know, I need a slate, a pad. I need spanses of time to deliver to you what the fuck it is that's on my mind. You know, and I just don't... The way that people just kind of quickly assume and then just ram down your throat all their insecurities and all their thoughts and all their false connotations about things, and they just make anyone that's just you're the it's anti-intellectual, and I have no interest in that. I just don't engage with it at all, because it's like those people aren't living a healthy existence. That is their day. That's not my day. That's the 20-year-old versus the 20-year-old thinks that you have to engage with that, and it's there because it's there to make or break you. It's there to dictate and decide. It's like someone calling you out into the cafeteria in front of everybody, or the playground in front of everybody, or in high school in front of everybody, in the hallway in front of everybody. And it's like, it's that kind of shit. And it's like, the fuck are you gonna do with that, you know? Like, the closer you are to it, I guess that's all you got, but I have no interest in it. I'm too busy creating, you know? I'm too busy actually getting the things done that I have to get done. And those goals don't align with what you're going through. Because my life is different. I'm alright. I don't need to. It's like the whole world that I live in is just building discipline and building discipline and building discipline and building the habits necessary, and really like trying to manage the time that I have, and like just see how much more time I can build in that if I'm able to put something aside and really focus for 30 minutes instead of bullshitting for 2 hours. Okay, so I'm not going to give myself the 2 hours because I'm not going to focus for 2 hours, honestly. I can give myself 30 minutes of hardcore focus. I can reward myself for an hour, and then I can go hard for another 30 fucking minutes, and then that's going to balance itself out that I'm doing both, you know? Instead of punishing yourself or overly rewarding yourself, you need to like just, the biggest part of discipline is understanding how you work. Because there's going to be certain things that you have an insurmountable amount of discipline in naturally, and that might just be exercising every once in a while. You might just have a good habit for just getting active during the week and walking instead of driving where you can, or maybe just doing some push-ups or doing some plank, just having like a mindset of exercise in your life already. You might be great at that, but you might be terrible with nutrition, and you're terrible at understanding how many calories that you're consuming, and that one day eating too few calories and the next day eating too many calories and the next day eating too few calories, that is going to result in an accumulation of fat. Because not eating one day to justify binging the next day is either going to make you bulimia. I don't want to get bulimia and anorexic confused. I'm just going to say it's going to lead to an eating disorder. Because I don't want to offend anybody. Because I used to be bulimic. I was not anorexic. And those two things are very different. Because you're not starving yourself. But you would be bulimic. You would be a bulimia nervosa, because you're fasting yourself basically to justify the binging. I'm not trying to like go too far off the fucking topic. So I'm just going to have to like, cut this soon, because I guess this gives you like some idea into the mind of it. Because for me, all this is flowing perfectly. I'm on beat entirely with everything the creative process says. But I think a lot of people don't understand the creative mind to begin with. To then understand that if you're a creative person, the majority of what you really need to work on now is just conceptual organization. And taking your awesome sauce and making room for it, you know? Instead of you just having a bag of all your awesome sauce, you got your soy sauce and your mustard and your ketchup and your hot mustard and your ducks all in a giant fucking bag, you can afford to put them inside of separate snack bags so that you can just easily access your awesome sauce and the variety of awesome sauce in which you need it. You don't just have to be good at being disconnected from society and imagination world, because that's what a lot of people, no matter how down to earth you are or grounded in reality you are, simply because you're an author, you're gonna have a lot of people accuse you of being offbeat or out of touch. They're just gonna assume that you're living some, because they don't know what it's like to literally live off of their passion. And it's not, they're stuck in a material, consumeristic world. As soon as you enter into the world of ability and skill and capability, all those things are automatically guaranteed. You have higher needs on the pyramid, you know? You have higher needs and higher desires, you know? So once those materialistic needs are met, you can have a job and be a fucking author, be a fucking musician, or be a fucking artist, some shit like that. Like, there's nothing limiting you from doing fucking both, other than having a sense of discipline and some time management, and that's gonna kill you. That's where most of you fail. If it always feels like it's a sacrifice, don't do it. If you always feel like your family or has to support you, if your family doesn't support you becoming an author, it's probably because you're not good at writing. And the amount of work that it would take for you to do to become a good writer, you could very easily apply to helping your family in a realistic way. So the immature 20-year-old, from personal experience, is going to feel like everyone is against them and everyone just is a hater and doesn't support them, instead of realistically understanding that, like, no, you hardcore could be doing real life things to support and help your family to receive that support and love in return. You can't, just like you can't pour from an empty cup, you can't ask someone to pour from an empty cup. You know, it takes a lot to become an author. It's very hard, it's very difficult. And if people already see that you don't have a good discipline, if people already see that you don't have good work habits, you have to be good at doing the real life things to be good at doing your habits, your talents, and abilities. People make like the misunderstanding that if you start a business or if you become an artist or something like that, that you're bad at holding a job or you're bad at being a student or something of that nature. And no, it's quite the opposite, in fact. It's that you are satisfied by that. And for you, it's enough. That's all you need. That's all you got the degree. That's all you needed for yourself. The degree wasn't going to do anything for me. Having that knowledge, I was already building the knowledge regardless. I'm grateful for building it in the academic setting, and now I continue building that knowledge, and I continue reading, and I continue my studies now, even that I'm out of college, even that I've continued on with my life throughout being in Kent or the other places that I lived. It wasn't enough for me. And it's like, even still, becoming a bestseller, it's not enough for me. You know, being a number 1, number 3 bestseller isn't enough. I want to be in the New York Times list. I want to be on lists in countries that I've never been to before. I want to go to those countries and make their list. Simply by appearing there, simply by showing up one day. You know, it's like, a lot of you just aren't going to make it because you don't want it. And it's fine. It's good to admit that, because you can still, once again, enjoy being an author. I see a lot of people enjoy being an author without being good at it. With having one book. Their mama bought it, and a few other friends bought it, and then once a month they might sell one copy of it. And they think that's incredible because they're in a circle that's all they do is 1 a month, 2 a month, 3 a month. And then you start doing 20, you start doing 200, you start doing... They don't want to talk to you anymore. They don't want to learn from you. They don't want... Because it's like you've entered a world in which you've been holding back knowledge. You've been withholding. It's like, no. It's like these conversations are the only times you guys are focused on fucking writing. That's it. I'm doing this the whole time. The whole time, the whole day. I'm making this video. I woke up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. fucking today. Most nights I don't go to sleep until about 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. 7 a.m. in the goddamn morning. I'm doing it the whole time. I didn't make the audiobook because I'm just so great at keeping a toddler quiet. No, I take care of my son all day. I had to stay up all fucking night, watch a toddler all day, stay up all night recording audio, watch a toddler all day, have him take a nap, sacrifice not taking a nap to record some fucking audio, to edit the shit. You're never going to get credit for the shit that you do because nobody sees it. When you're on teams and stuff like that to validate you and blah, 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 when you are a solo hunter, the only thing people can see are your results. And that's it. That's what you have to focus on. That's what you have to switch from. So if you're great at writing, you don't know how to market, and you don't paying other people to market for you isn't going to make you rich. It's going to make them rich. It's just like buying drugs, man. You just keep buying shit. You just keep buying weed. You just keep buying weed. And you're not getting rich off the weed. You're not selling the shit. You're just smoking the shit. You're making the drug dealers rich. You're not making yourself rich. You're not doing yourself any favors by doing that. You're just getting high. And if that's for you, that's for you. But it's not enough. And eventually, once that dopamine doesn't hit, once people don't give a fuck that you got a book, once you're being demanded to make another book and you don't know if you can replicate the process because you didn't learn shit the first time, but to hire other people, you're very limited in what you can produce. I spent 7 years learning everything that there is. And there's a lot more for me to learn still. I'm not going to deny and say that there isn't. I learned a lot about this shit. Well before I left college. I didn't leave college until I knew I could really survive on my own. That was the major thing. I didn't leave until I felt like I had a good grasp that if I didn't have this degree and I really focused on this thing that I'm trying to do, I was worried. I was definitely worried, but I did it and I don't regret it. There's always time to go back to college. There's always time to get a good job. There's not going to be an endless amount of time for you to really execute upon becoming an author or to really execute upon living your dream and living your authentic reality, because having a great job comes with living your authentic reality. Having life insurance, having health insurance, having car insurance costs money. That comes with living an authentic experience. Having a roof over your head comes with living an authentic experience. But there's a difference between somebody that wants to spend, after you turn 18, the next 12 years getting a doctorate degree, versus someone who wants to spend the next 12 years learning how to make a living on their own. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that, no matter if it's becoming a carpenter, becoming a plumber, becoming an author. It's like if you want to spend the 12 years building skills, building trades that the professional class of people are going to need because they're learning, I don't know, theoretical knowledge and research that comes in handy, for sure. But when it comes to doing the physical things of this world and of this planet, that's the place you need to be at. Even if you do work into becoming a doctor, becoming an engineer, becoming a lawyer, and working into the idea of theory, working to the idea of sciences and philosophies, it's great to have some real physical trades and some physical skills to rely upon. And that's not something everybody's going to tell you. Because especially if you're an author and you really want to fund this shit, Dan Locke said it best. Like, if you want to become an entrepreneur, the first thing you need to do is get a fucking job. You need to make multiple sources of income. You need a source of income. It doesn't matter what kind of source of income it is. You need a source of income. How do you invest in yourself without a source of income? How do you invest in yourself without taking food off of your plate? How do you invest in yourself for the long term without touching your fucking money? You gotta have multiple sources of income. So if you're doing this and you're not learning the marketing, you're not learning the advertising, you're not learning sales, you're not learning finances, you're not gonna have a very long career because you're never gonna understand how to convert this into a business. You're never gonna understand how to convert it from a childhood dream and fantasy at the third grade, creating spiral stories in Miss Sackett's class, and just having this white woman see that you have a writing ability and not stifling you as other kids have had to go through. And having an understanding and having some sense of growth within this. To become a fucking best-selling author before you turn 30. That's real shit. But you're never going to get that credit. You're not. So the best thing that you can do is just keep producing, keep working, keep being consistent, keep building your discipline. Because at the end of the day, you don't really, this is going to be the last thing I really speak on, because it's the biggest misconception. And I hit on it before a little earlier. And it's like, a lot of you have to be motivated by the devil or something to do this. And I mean that in a very, like, combative way against you. I mean that in a kind of, like, way that me and you can never, like, have a real connection or be friends. Because I know that you're demonically motivated. And you're demonically motivated in the sense that everyone's hating on you, everyone's jealous of you, and everyone wants to be. They don't. They really don't. And most people honestly aren't even thinking that much about you to hurt your feelings. People don't come out of their day with an overwhelming amount of sensitivity and empathy. People come out of their house usually on guard, usually worried about getting fucked over themselves, usually worried about being disrespected themselves. And when they come home, they feel at peace, you know? And it's like people aren't coming out of their way. If people don't support you, it's usually because they're not even thinking about you to begin with. And to take that and to get offended and to get hurt, and now you have to make this new narrative about and make it seem like you're so important. It's like, what do you do for that person? What value do you create in their life? What kind of bond do you create with these people that they want to support you and they want to hear? Asking someone to read your book or asking someone to listen to your music is asking someone to take a very intimate step with you into your life. And if you're not creating that kind of intimacy where someone's either interested by how aloof you are and how you give, but you keep so much of yourself that they have to read your book to understand you better, or they love you so deeply that they want to engage in your romance books and your romance fantasies, not to be in a relationship with you, because they know you understand love. Because they feel love for you, and they feel the love back from you, so they know you understand love. So they want to hear your romance. You know, or they know that you're a huge, like, you have to build rapport with people. You have to build relationships with people. You have to build a positive, good reputation that even if someone doesn't like you, they at least respect you and respect your craft. And you left with some sense of dignity, and you left them with some sense of dignity, because at the end of the day, people are just going to remember how you made them feel. They may not like you. They may not give a shit about your genre. They may not give a shit about you as a person. They might have liked your page by accident. You probably posted some picture that had nothing to do with the other shit that you posted, and they followed your page. It's like, stop with that shit. It's like, if you don't set people up in a position to disappoint you, you're never going to be disappointed. Stop making these people that owe you nothing owe you everything, and stop making these people that are living their own life the sole dependent factor upon your success. You're the sole dependent factor of your success. You yourself. So if your mom is busy, and your dad is busy, and your sister and your brother and your auntie and your cousin, they're busy, you gotta find some new motherfuckers to play with. You gotta find some other motherfuckers to read your content and read your books without having anything to do with your family. Your family wasn't created to be your audience. You know, and that's like, a lot of you just, it's sickening. It's just sick and it's nasty. And that's really why you don't, it becomes a reality and why people don't support you. And it becomes a reality and why you don't succeed because your family didn't support you. Because you made such a contention about it. You know, my family didn't even know they didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I wasn't speaking to anybody about it. I wasn't telling anyone about it. There was no position in real reality for someone to have supported me at that point. Because honestly, there wasn't really anything at that point in time. If you gave me money, now if you give me money, it's going to be going to investing, it's going to be going to marketing, it's going to be going into like fruitful efforts. Then if you gave me money, it would be going to takeout and delivery at that point. DoorDash wasn't really, I think Grubhub was like the major thing at that point. DoorDash was not a factor at all when I was 28. That was a fucking game changer. I could not imagine having fucking DoorDash in college. I would have gained way more fucking weight. That would have been worse. You were limited by the sources of delivery that you had back then. Now there's so many platforms for delivery. There's so many ways to get shit out there. You're the sole factor in your limitation of success. These people aren't going viral because their parents supported them. These people aren't creating ridiculous viral content, they don't have 1 million family members. They don't have 1 billion family members. You know, so it's like putting the burden upon your spouse and putting the burden upon your family to be the sole. You're not going to get very far because you only have so many family members, and just making money off of your family is being a fucking parasite, man. You need to create a brand new niche market segment. And I know a lot of people won't know what that means, and I'm not going to explain it to you because you need to fucking figure this shit out if you want to be successful. And I'm not saying it like I have the utmost success out there. I'm really not even putting myself out there like that. Maybe I am. Like, maybe that's how this comes across or like whatever. Like, look at me, big dick ball, and making a 30-minute video about being an author. But like, I'm an author. I'm an author who's been an author for 7 years. I'm an author with multiple books out there, and multiple short stories out there, and articles out there. But you don't see me fucking out there doing every fucking interview possible and putting my face in front of everyone's fucking face and shit like that. You know, and maybe I should do more of that stuff. Maybe people would enjoy more of that stuff. But this is easier for me. Doing this once a week is easy. Doing this maybe sporadically throughout the week is easy for me. And I can build a great discipline of making videos and making content. But it's not easy for me to like do that every day because I'm more of a literary driven person. And this just isn't built into my daily discipline. So I guess I'm going to try to do a little bit better at making videos and shit like that. Kwame Brown really inspired me to like really make videos and really get out there. Because it's like, unless you really get out there to share your side of the story and really control your narrative, there's going to be so many people that try to do it for you. So, I don't know. That's fun. Thank you for listening, if you listened at all. You can find me at Novel Eden at Instagram.com or Shadaz Longhair at Instagram.com. And that's it. That's all I give you. That's it. Have a great day. Peace out.